field. Very excited as we jump into our grand finals for the North American West region. Ready? Thank you so much, man. We will catch up with you in a little bit on the horn. For this matchup is going to be myself and my main man, Kenny. And we're going to start off at Bridge Too Far with Heist. We'll do Hot Zone and then Bounty, Brawl Ball, and Knockout if we need them. But I'm sure both of these squads want it to be quick and dirty. 85% of fans going with the Stamina team. Not surprised to see a lot of fans on that side, Kenny, but I want to see that Dog Walkers percentage go up and up and up.
Yeah, this is pretty wild to see. I believe these were actually identical bans almost to what we saw earlier. I think eliminating Colt's a little bit of surprise to me at the ban stage, but I understand it. I mean, maybe it's just a confidence pick from Dog Walkers, like the elimination of Grom a lot too. I think he's a really pesky one to deal with in this current meta. A Nani going to be met by a Brock. This is going to be a little bit of chess going on here. Nani, of course, might not be everyone's first pick overall on this map, but of course with the teleport that she has, so powerful for just getting across the map for free. And of course, going to do super well into those traditional sharpshooter brawlers, ones like Brock, Piper. It's a good, solid response for that, especially if they run the other gadget.
Always what you got to be thinking about, all those different variables for sure. And the Brock man, going to be teamed up with 8-Bit. Love this pick. Obviously, Brock, we've talked a lot about how strong this character can be, particularly when it comes down to Heist. And 8-Bit, not only is it just going to amplify what the whole Brock strategy wants to do, but this is also a composition and a style that Stamina like to play.
Yeah, they do love themselves some Brock. Got a couple really good players on there too, whether it's Czar or Bobby. A lot of the times they're going to be running at that brawler here. Got Nani to start things off. I'm curious to see how they finish things up, though. Still a lot of great options, and it's going to be Colette. You know, you look at this brawler, and you don't see anything super tanky, except for the giant arcade machine on the other side. No, he's technically not a tank by definition. You know, he shoots the laser gun, but he's a really healthy boy. I mean, it's where Colette can start to shine a little bit, and I think it's playing the objective, also playing into 8-Bit.
Also that. I think that it is so fundamental that, like, oh, Colette super, large percentage for free off of the Heist box. We established that, and then it feels like teams kind of moved past that as squads look to counter Colette. But at the end of the day, that fundamental strength is still there. And so Dog Walkers are going, look, man, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We got some long-range stuff and Colette super. And you go, cool, that's Heist.
Yeah, I think it's going to be curious here to see what this final pick is as well. And like you said, I like it that they played not only just a response to their brawler, but they are playing the objective. That's a big part of Brawl Stars. All these game modes are so unique and different. And sure, kills are nice. Having a good matchup is nice. But ultimately, if you're not playing the game mode, well, you're probably not winning. Final pick, going to be Bell here.
Very true. No, totally right. I laugh just because, like, man, I'm a boomer. I've been playing games for so long, and one of the first things you learn when you play your very first competitive game, fight on the flag. Objectives is how, and so often it is easy to just get lost in the sauce and be like, I got 40 kills, and be like, awesome, you got 12% on the Heist box. You lose. Good day, sir. So Stamina and Dog Walkers take the field here today. DW with kind of the quintessential, like we said, the Colette draft. Colette actually going to move to the mid lane to get a different matchup, get away from that Bell who vastly outranges her.
Yeah, going to be looking for Chino to play on that 8-Bit, 7,200 HP, can get shredded by a few Chino shots. And of course, every time he connects that Heist safe in addition, it's 10% going in their favor. Patchy with a nice pickup onto Bobby, low HP brawler. That's where the Nani peep can really shine too. Hovering down now, few at 31, 50 shots, hitting that safe, and already 18% done. Great start here for Dog Walkers.
Yeah, and all that is just sort of like incidental damage, kind of like chip damage, if you will. You're just getting a little bit past the opposition, not like this, where we win the fight on the right and it opens up the door. Chino's up here front and center, but isn't able to do anything and falls down before any real damage winds up coming out of Colette there. Ultimately, it's going to be 73% left remaining on Staminas, and Dog Walkers very, very healthy just now. Is STMN getting involved? OG takes down Patchy in the right side. Because of that, the door will open a little bit. We're tied up. Scratch that. Lead change to stamina.
Ooh, and a big lead change too. OG putting in work right now on that high safe. Bobby, of course, winning his left-hand lane, gonna make it a little easier for him too. A teleport in from Patchy, just trying to do anything right now, but Czar continuing to get a win on this right-hand lane as well. It's
losing hard for a while, but there's 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock in total, and it doesn't matter if you're losing for a majority of that time period, as long as you win at the end. You know, it's very simple. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. And so that's exactly what we saw Stamina do. Got behind the 8-ball a little bit, just vibed out, and then chose their spots. And that spot, Kenny, is a lot. It has a lot to do with OG in this middle lane. They're able to open up that, then they can walk forward. Here, though, on the back foot.
Yeah, OG, of course, going to be their primary damage dealer here. Patchy, though, getting a good angle. A lot of pressure being applied from Dog Walkers right there. Very different team with the past, I almost said, with a similar animal in mind. OG, though, going to be falling weak and now trying to break free a little bit here. Once again, a strong start from Dog Walkers, but it's all about how you finish, of course.
Ooh, Czar left side, 1, 2, 3, is able to take down Patchy, and a great adaptation by Chino, but Czar takes care of business there as well. Door open, and an important kill by Charles to take down the mid lane 8-bit. If Charles doesn't get that kill, Stamina off to the races.
It's going to be a close one once again. Patchy falling weak, though. Hits the nest egg, and honestly, probably for the better that they get that out of the way. Last time, they just ushered them all the way to the middle and right-hand side just because they covered them in nest eggs on the left. Czar going to once again be doing that Chino 3,000 apiece. He zooms on by, and now OG going to be dropping the turret there, trying to get some value out of it, but finds none as Charles takes care of that very quickly, and Dogwalkers all of a sudden really making him hurt.
That said, their turn's over. A kill out of Bobby winds up neutralizing everything, and Dogwalkers has to back up. 60% remaining for Dogwalkers, and Stamina obviously trailing at that 35% health mark. But again, Stamina was behind in game number 1 as well. Dogwalkers, I would like, if they can find the pressure one more time, and that's going to be off the Colette, can they finish? Charles needs to find the shot, but great pressure keeps Charles from going too far ahead, and ultimately it's Czar left side that's able to win, but the countdown starts. 17 seconds remaining. Can Stamina step up? Now is the only time that they have the opportunity.
Yeah, and they get a few shots up too. They need 5% more now for OG, low HP. Bobby doesn't have a lot to work with. Fires the rockets from the skies though, and I think they're gonna squeak by here. No, the other side, it's so...
Not totally convinced that this is gonna be over as quickly as Stamina might want it to be, as we head into our second set of the grand finals. Hot Zone, Ring of Fire, and in general, we know what it takes to kind of win our hot zones. We talk a lot about Lou and area control and this, that, and the third. Hi, friends. But Ring of Fire specifically, what are you thinking, Kenny, when we jump into the Johnny Cash?
We're going to see B as a safe first pick, but we've had all broadcasts to take a second talk about these safer picks. You know, we see Lou out of the way. I want to give a shout out to Stu here. It's somebody that I've seen scrimmed quite a bit in North America on this map. And of course, Dogwalkers have a player in Patchy that plays Stu masterfully. He's the best, if not one of the best in North America. Always love seeing him play the brawler, and with that speed zone, he can bring the hot zone. I think it could be something good for them if they find a way to incorporate it. Something I saw in a scrimmage the other day between STMN and another really solid powerhouse from North America East. So kind of having my eyes on that. But of course, two really safe picks like we've been talking about all broadcast. The B, the Penny, got no complaints here.
Absolutely. Just a standard. Again, you know, anytime you've got a place that you can hide that turret, Penny is going to be exciting and a great option. And B just has so many buttons to press, whether it's Honey Molasses or whatnot. She has so many options with respects to her gadget, her super, and of course, just shooting folks. Colonel Ruff's coming down, and I'm always a fan of Colonel Ruff's. Not only does he do the good things with the sandbags and sort of setting up the HQ, like I like to talk about on the point, but listen, man, anytime you can amplify your teammates' damage, like I love damage amps like Bell and Colonel Ruff. I think it's just very cool gameplay to be able to support without healing. You know, you're supporting by helping do extra damage, and so I'm always on board.
Yeah, he's definitely a unique brawler and one that I feel like deserves a lot of credit in the competitive realm just because of how much he can do. He gets the bounce shots, he can power teammates up with HP and that damage like you were alluding to. But Amber, one we like on this map, I just don't see her as frequently recently, but this can certainly work. I mean, not just because it's an easy tap, but you can burn open that grass and really gain your team some visibility.
One of my favorite picks in the entire game. If you've heard me yell about this game enough, you've heard me. I like unique attributes to characters, as Bobby locks in the Carl man. And Amber is absolutely that. She can take away a strategy of your opponents, which, to be fair, you know, it's not like we see like a Rosa and a Crow across the way. Dogman and Penny are going to be totally fine without the grass. That's totally cool. But Amber strips that strategy away to a certain extent and also just deals damage. But who had last pick Gray written down? Anybody?
I kind of forgot about him. I'll say it. Like, I did not go to first period with F dot. I should have remembered that. I think this is a really solid final pick. We saw the work that it could put in earlier. And again, even if it's not as inherent as something like Gray Jackie, he's still that guy. He is a great brawler. And before this balance change comes in, as far as I'm concerned, he's still at the tippy top of the meta.
Yeah, this is one of those picks where Gray doesn't fit in the composition. Who cares? He's Gray. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Zar going to start this one off hot, running up the right lane, but Charles takes out the mid. So even if Zar was successful with this Carl flank, wouldn't amount to much. As OG steps up on the point, Dogwalkers take care of Zar. And we're back to mid control for the red team.
Interesting choice of gadget here from Charles, too. I thought he might be, you know, forced off of the sandbags because of Amber and the piercing shots that she has. She can burn right through those things. Right. But if they can find value into somebody who's a single shot brawler like Bobby, it works out really well. I mean, even Carl, he just goes right through the things. They have to be really selective about how they go with this. But so far, so good. Small lead here, but certainly they're being contested over it.
Bobby taken care of, and STMN having a hard time finding their opening, but here it might come as Zar gets a double kill. Still alive is Charles. Woo! Just kidding. Make it 3 for Carl, and the door is not only kicked open, but STMN are waterfalling through it on the point, 40% and counting.
Goodness gracious. I mean, Zar refuses to quit. 2 team wipes back to back. Zar having 5 out of 6 of those kills. You want to talk about a dunk. They're bringing out that ball, but that was insane stuff from Zar. He's still going. He might get another one. Oh, a trade. We'll take it. Credit where credit's due, man. That was crazy.
Zar was alive with 2 HP. That's 1 more than he needed. Fantastic sequence to allow STMN to grab the lead, but now the tide is turned. STMN 76%, but it's Dogwalkers that are on the point and counting up. Zar again finds himself on the flank, but this time the opposite happens. He gets put underground. Point stalled. STMN trying to force their way up. Charles barely alive. Zar changes that, and it's STMN's point one more time. OG steps forward, 85%, and going up.
It's not over yet either. It's a close call, but I mean, a good offense here from Dogwalkers can do the thing. Patchy gets a kill, a pull onto Bobby as well, a pickup there too. 3 brawlers now standing for Dogwalkers. All they have to do is stand on the darn thing for a few more moments.
Work as well. Ultimately, what it came down to is just Dogwalkers. I used the term turn before. They just had more turns. They just had more opportunities to all in and step on that point. I'm not sure it was all the great pick. It was just good brawling. So Dogwalkers start us off with 1 already. And guess what? They're first on the point again.
Yeah, and I mean, they're winning the kill category as well. All 3 going for this one, but they're dangerously close to going down. The sandbags going up instantly upon that teleportation. Gino Charles now sitting safely with the amount of HP they've gotten. It's going to be 32% to 3. Strong start once again for Dogwalkers, but don't look now. STMN trying to pave the road for themselves to take another lead.
Little bit of a light position on the point because Zar was so low on the right-hand side. So they just step up, but they got to step right back out. And it's Dogwalkers on the point. OG's getting shot from all directions, including from a turret. So it looked like STMN might have flirted with it, but it's still DW. 50%, but it's slowed down. Stamina doing a better job of trying to push dog walkers off the point and occasionally getting it done. But Patchy trades out with Bobby, and Zard, unsuccessful super.
Yeah, they're going to need the Zar pop-off once again right now. I mean, that's the only thing really climbing them back in this one. Opportunity here, but a great segment just coming in overall. Some good team wipes, some nice kills, and they're continuing to climb kills back and forth, of course, but even one brawler on that hot zone counts towards that percentage. Another teleport through. This time, though, Zar's going to pick up Charles. Gonna burn down. Well, they're going to have to play a perfect one, but it's still possible. If STMN can hold the line just a little bit longer, maybe avoid those patchy supers, at least an opportunity.
It's going to be tough. Absolutely tough. They have to play not perfect. It's not 99%, but it might as well be. 55% for stamina and counting up, but with the step back, dog walkers step forward, but they get the kills. Zor and Bobby went up on top. It's still Stamina's game at the moment. Chino taking damage from OG, teleport in, dog walkers teleport to...
Yeah, I mean, I thought STMN came with some strong stuff too, and they're going to have to do it once again here. Canal Grande, a tie ball game as well, and we got word that Sands is coming in for OG, so we're going to be trying yet another lineup here. It seems to be something STMN are pretty set on here today.
So I'm very interested. I can't wait to kind of like go and do my homework and, you know, be a real spreadsheet daddy about it. I want to see which game modes, which maps, which brawlers that Stamina are choosing to swap out their fourth player on. Because if there's a method to the madness, Kenny, I love it. I need it. I want more of it. It's so sick. It's awesome. But if they're just kind of like, hey, we lost, who wants to tag in? I think that might be more detrimental than it is instrumental.
Yeah, there's certainly something to be said about that, right? I mean, they've got 4 very talented players, but if you're somebody like Dog Walkers and all 3 of them are getting the reps in every time, you build up that chemistry. I think it just depends on how much as a team you value that. But STMN, they've put this together for a long time. And like you said, if they've got a strategy behind it, maybe they've got a certain map pool for each person. Who knows? I mean, that's something we'll definitely have to ask them about in future days. But I see where you're coming from. I could definitely see how that could backfire on you.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're just like, well, we lost, I'm done, you're next. I'm like, come on, bro. But I want a method to the, I want to see the science. So Patchy's going to be picking the Ashe and the Luz out there as well. Of course, we'll see what they all play. But the Ashe, certainly a strong choice. And Squeak. So Canal Grande is one of those maps that I absolutely love area deniers, specifically choke point abusers. Because of that mid and the way it works out, Squeak, one of my favorite brawlers in the game, full stop, but specifically in situations like this for sure. I think Lou's going to be the same threat level, if not higher, because of the same reason, but Squeak gets to do it on the regular, even without a super.
Yeah, so we've got this Otis on the other side playing into somebody like Ashe. I mean, if you get the mute button on him, great stuff. You know, a good way to deal with somebody tanky in front of your face. But I like that they take the Lu alongside it. In my notes, these were actually the 2 brawlers I was looking out for. Somebody that maybe more in that surprise category. But again, one of the biggest takeaways for me this weekend and just throughout general competition is Lu's just about everywhere. It's not just a hot zone thing anymore. It's a Brawl Stars thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very curious to see how Dog Walkers can kind of implement that into their game as they're playing a very NA style comp here. They joined the Carl in there too, which I think is going to force the Colonel Ruffs off these sandbags. They're going into Squeak as well, which isn't the highest HG brawler, not the most DPS in there as well. So not going to lie, I kind of like this for Dog Walkers. I think a very unique but very solid comp when I look at the other side.
Absolutely. This is one of those sort of like individual based compositions where what they were lacking with the Ashe and Lu, it would have been kind of, Stamina can kind of play from a distance. Carl is going to not allow that. Essentially, Carl is going to jump on you flying hook style and kind of try to bring the attitude to you and leaving space for his squad mates. That's the idea. Obviously, Ashe wants to be front and center, and he is, but that also might be what happens to Ashe for being front and center, get popped.
Yeah, it's kind of that same concept I talked about a little earlier when we saw Salmon Bounty. It's when you're an aggressive brawler like that, at least Ash can kind of keep his distance a little bit, but if he's the one loading up on all those stars and just trades out with the enemy, it's almost not worth it. But right now, Apache trying to do his best to make it worth it. A nice popped gadget there, hitting that chill pill, getting his HP back up. A Lu super in the mid, going to completely cut them off. Of course, this being a map that's very unique in the sense that it plays more east to west, rather north-south. Apache with another kill. Goodness gracious, 10-3 lead for Dogwalkers.
Just walked him down. And here comes Chino. Patchy took care of Bobby first. Chino did it secondarily. And Patchy gonna go to work as well, getting the trade out. Short Ding, doubling Stamina's 7 stars. It's just been a rumble here. Good kill for Stamina, shortening that lead to just 3.
Patchy getting a little aggressive here too. The mute button hitting him. He's just a standing duck, but he's still getting a kill. A trade is better than none. Actually giving them a 2-star lead and all that too. It's gonna be Lu and Carl still standing in the mid. STMN now rushing back up. But don't look now, Ash back up in action. This is a close call.
Stamina now in the mid game, doing a good job of keeping Patchy at a distance. I think that's the win condition for Stamina. They just can't let Ash into their house, which easier said than done. Trust me, I know. But we got 12 seconds on the clock, and Dogwalkers have the lead, albeit a slim one. Czar and Bobby inching up on the right side. Sands is able to get the kill, and Chino too far away. Can't close the gap. Neither can Charles.
He's standing up, can't even sit down. I mean, it's just so exciting to watch, and such a close call too. 2 formidable foes going at it. As Chino, of course, going to be going for the gadget to get this immediately. It's going to be blue star advantage and an extra kill once again. Patchy going to be stomping down this left-hand side, picks himself up a 5-0 lead for his team.
Great job out of the tank player here for Dogwalkers, and they're all in. Drop the rats. Czar falls down again. Lucky number 7 here for DW. Lost game 1, but a great bounce back.
Yeah, and Patchy just kind of abusing this matchup right now. Now on his 6th star. That's perfect stuff coming in from him. And again, this is something we talked about in the draft stage, but Squeak, one of the squishier brawlers, can't do a lot of damage to somebody up close. He kind of has to wait for those projectiles to explode like you see there against Chino. It's not easy at all. And now Bobby's going to be in trouble here too. They hit the mute button, but he's going to be able to walk out of this finally going down. Looked unstoppable there for a little bit. Nonetheless, though, 6-star lead. Dogwalkers sitting pretty.
Bobby on the right side, watching his team get decimated by Chino, the one-man tornado, and Bobby also just winding up in the jaws. And so it's 20-9. Dogwalkers turn it up to 23. Oh, and the thumbs down pin. Get out of my game. Dogwalkers feeling some type of way.
Oh man, they've got me feeling some type of way with how good they're playing some Brawl Stars right now. As a fan, you just love to see it, but oh, he does get away. I was gonna say needs to pop that gadget. Flying hook to get out of harm's way. Chino has to be careful about how he does this though. He might spread those shots over to Charles and then things could get really interesting. Trying to hit him with a brain freeze, can't do so quite yet. 17-25. They need a lot of stars here, at least 2 kills along with it. But that pickup from Patchy should secure the deal. Beautifully played set from Patchy.
Of that, which honestly, they didn't even need to win that hard, guys. You just didn't need to go that hard. They saw how Stamina started to spread out, and they abused the fact that they were spread, pushed down the right side, and just got the numbers advantage. Chino, we saw this episode already. He takes care of 2 people by himself again. Great stuff. Another good start for Dogwalkers.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how you lane it, right? I mean, they ignore the Patchy, they go to the other side, they're trying to play the Carl, but Carl still has a great matchup in this week, too. There's no way to get around it. I mean, he's just a lightweight brawler, and Carl, of course, with a lot of HP and a lot of damage, is going to show it off right there. 294, going to be the number to keep him alive. They're still doing good work on the left-hand side, too. They can't even walk forward. There's an ice pond directly in their face.
I love the Lu stall. It's very romantic to think about the huge Lu super that stuns everybody. But realistically, like, you need to burn time on the clock. You put you raise the drawbridge. You can't walk here, dude. And that's, you've done the thing. You are effectively playing the game. Love that choice. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, it's more of an art, right? It's Charles playing a Lou. It's not a brute, aggressive brawler, somebody like Ash who picks up the hammer and smash. It's putting down these Lou supers, knowing that this map has 2 lanes, not 3. There's no Eve that can go up the middle, and it's really leading the way for them to take a big lead. 10 stars, and Chino still hungry for more. He's in trouble, though. A super dropping down. He somehow avoids it. Can he stay up? No, but he does manage to get a kill for all of his troubles. 20 seconds to go. 6 stars for DW.
Stamina on the right-hand side. Bobby looking for the damage onto Chino, and they are not able to take care of him safely. 18-13. Stamina's going to need 2 kills to win this one, and with that final Chino play, that's it. Dogwalkers are able to take the second set.
Down into that lower bracket. And now they're going to have to go to Sneaky Fields and win 2 straight, but it starts here. This map is such an interesting one to watch. You can go with some wall break strategy to try and open up the map. You can go tanks, which have been running rampant in our meta right now, or you can prep for the worst. You can go with those anti-tank brawlers. It's a really difficult one to draft, to be honest with you.
It really is, and you know, difficult's one word. I think I'll say I think it's interesting because there are so many approaches that you can take to it, and truly, what's your team good at? That's the way you approach it, as opposed to, well, you better be good at this because that's the way it's got to go. A lot of different opportunities. Otis, not really tilting, not really showing us one way or the other. Otis kind of fits into all the comps, so we'll see the way it works out. But there's Tiny Lou, Ice Cream Man coming to town, really looking for just control.
Yeah, he somehow found his way onto another map, and no tanks yet, but both sides clearly prepping for it. I mean, we've got Lou, which can do really well in that category with the brain freeze, slowing down the enemies. He drops his icy pond, and it's a winter wonderland, right? It's a tank's nightmare, and of course, Chino being on the Otis, a strong brawler, and you know, when he's got still the starfish by his side, he can do a really good job at just halting enemies with a simple mute button. There's the man himself. It wouldn't be an A if we didn't have Ash on this map. Love to see it.
Absolutely, and taking the Ash away, especially after the performance that Patchy just had, this is definitely a ban by way of pick. Like, yeah, we know Stamina wants to play this, but it's guaranteed that they're going to play it, knowing that Patchy's across the way. So a nice selection there for sure. As the options over to Dogwalkers, and they look to round out their composition next to Otis.
Yeah, I think a ban that may have really impacted that. Yeah, I think Rico's an interesting one, too. I know Reddy wasn't necessarily as big of a fan maybe on Sneaky Fields. I believe he was talking about it earlier, but I actually do not mind him on this map. When he can apply some pressure there towards the goal side, you know, we've got that little 4-prong wall, I believe, closer to the goal. You know, he's got the bounce shots. It's really hard to dodge those without a wall break, so that's definitely something that they're going to have to prepare for. But the Rosa also being banned, typically a good matchup into Ash. The Sam-Ash matchup, of course, a very fun one, too. Certainly going to be a lot of punches thrown in that one, and of course, 2 of the best tanks out there right now.
Out here to make some music. We'll see how it works out, as Sans and Bobby have selected the first and second choices of Lou and Ash. And for our last selection here, it's going to be the Max. So a nice utility facilitator like this choice, especially anytime you have Ash around, speeding up, sounds good to me. And Lou's going to be able to do the Lou thing. So I like Stamina's composition here. Dogwalkers, strong stuff individually. I guess I'm going to take the easy way out and say I'm in between you and Reddy on this Rico. I get it. Doesn't mean I love it. But at the end of the day, Rico is, you know, just a character that you can just out-brawl with. So we'll see if they're able to get mid-control off of these bounce shots. And Charles is going to get the last hit, but guess who did a lot of that damage, Kenny? It was Chino.
Yeah, I mean, it's the risk reward you run with him, right? I think Reddy brings a great perspective in the sense that, yeah, he's a squishy brawler going against somebody like Ash. It's a pretty free matchup for Bobby, but if he can keep his distance, you know, cycle out these gadgets, we keep him healthy and really apply pressure when they're on offense, you know, he has to be in really good position and keep his distance. It's not an easy one to play, which is why I can definitely see the doubt while I see the opposition coming in. I think you have a great perspective, but a lot of kills going down. Oh my goodness. Bobby, Azar get a cleanup right there, and what looked really good for Dogwalkers to start, like you said, that Chino damage coming in. Now, all of a sudden, looking alive here for STMN.
Patchy goes in by himself. Questionable play there, but not going to be that big of a deal as Sands doesn't go over for the ball just yet. Nobody really has momentum or leverage or the advantage. Both teams just kind of honestly hanging out, looking for the opening. Dogwalkers with 2 players alive. Seems like Stamina wants to think about it, but Patchy just spawns up. So again, we return to the mid. Just over a minute to go, and Bobby's gonna walk up thanks to the big stun puddle out of Lou. Charles down for the count, and this could be the opportunity. Shot and score. Sands is the one to put it in. Stamina up 1.
Yeah, on defense, Chino certainly can't do as much there. Has to really hit those super shots and the regular ones to make it count. On offensive side, can be great, but that's where the ready factor comes in that he mentioned a little bit earlier. Great analysis from him.
Big plays.
In a good perspective as Bobby picks up a big kill. Super shot over. Ooh, this could be bad, though. No, it's okay.
Gave me a little, oh no. So, nice recovery there, boys. And Stamina trying to claw their way to a 5th set. If Stamina win this one and we get out of Brawl Ball, we're going to knockout. And we know how knockout is to end the grand finals. So might be a good one. And honestly, I'm always here. I'm rooting for extra Brawl at all times. So the Rats come out, Patchy in trouble, but I don't think there's a scoring opportunity here if Chino has his way, but he might not. Team not respawning. And there's the defense.
Oh, and nearly a big play there, too. The gravity pull going to keep him off that for now. It's going to be Patchy, Chino, Charles now marching it down the map. There's the Winter Wonderland on the right-hand side, though, cutting off about half the map. Chino not connecting enough shots there to make Bobby's HP dwindle too much. It's going to be this tank matchup on the left-hand side. A pickup on the Sands there, too. Might be an opportunity to get a goal.
Huge play by Patchy there. Ultimately loses the duel, but he keeps Bobby out of the fight in mid. And that allows Dogwalkers to basically trade out even in the middle. Now it's after the fact, and Stamina pushes up forward, but defense will be respawning. Patchy goes in by himself again, knowing that his defenders will respawn no problem. Ball left in mid. No score just yet. Sands starts us off with a kill, and Patchy slowed and elbowed. In comes the scoring opportunity. Chino falls down. Czar kicks it in. Stamina up again.
Nicely played there. Chino nearly did the thing, but just not enough against all of those brawlers on the other side. 2 Lou supers in quick succession. Nicely done. Charles with a good super there, too. Ash, of course, releasing one of his own at the very end there, but can't quite get the pickup. Charles, I think, going to be enough defense on his own to really give Dogwalkers an opportunity here.
Patchy, again, leading the charge. Consistently finding himself on the front lines. This time it works out. Patchy's been doing this time and time again, creating space, but hasn't been successful. This time, he wins the fight and opens the door for the Dogwalkers to go ahead and score. I think we're seeing overtime.
Yeah, when those walls come down to, it's going to be an interesting one. Kick forward. Patchy might have an opportunity here in the final moments. They need the game positioning, but they're very weak. Bobby going to fall, super shot in hand. It's Czar playing the lone goalkeeper. Patchy just going to keep walking it forward. The super shot.
In the, I'm not a hockey fan, but there's like a number for that hole. The corner. All right, perfectly placed. Good stuff. As Stamina walks forward, finds a couple of kills right off the rip, and just pushes, shoves. It wasn't even classy. They just get it done. Goal 1.
Now, Patchy trying to play defense here against Bobby. Bobby getting the win there, though. Sands thankfully picking up a kill. If you're a fan of STMN, low HP for both sides, though. They're going to have to wait for now. Charles picking up this ball. Not electing to pocket it just yet. If they concede and kind of play defense, they're not really going to have an opportunity to move forward, especially from playing from behind. That's not something you really want to do. Patchy frozen on this left-hand side as well. Czar with a few shots. Tough situation, and now it's DW, all defense.
Full reset. Ball castle up here in the top left. Not ideal for Dogwalkers as they are not on the board just yet. But the Lou Super is going to come out and create a no man's land here in the top left. Patchy actually wins the fight on the left side, but Bobby is just sending the Rats all in. No, Charles doesn't fall down. 15 HP is enough. And Dogwalkers play defense, but that won't be enough. Dogwalkers need to find a goal here. If it all ends right now, Stamina wins. So Dogwalkers need to find an opportunity.
Patchy throwing down a super 2-3. Brawlers standing for STMN. Bobby grabs the ball, face shift forward, an easy goal for Czar.
You saw towards the end, we spilled the beans. OG is stepping in here for Sans in our final set of the weekend. Very exciting. Stamina again. If you're just joining us, where you been? But it's time to shine. Stamina is the top card. They've been one of the most winningest teams in North America, but the Dogwalkers, they have one of the most talked about players in the league, and they're stepping up to be, grab that torch. This is a fun team to watch for sure. Gene, first selection for the Dogwalkers.
It's intense. I mean, this is a lot of pressure on one last draft for our first weekend of the year. Tick, Gus, Bo. Another Bo on the other side, too. I'm a little surprised to see him banned twice, but clearly they don't want to do with it. And an unusual Eve pick here. Not that it's a bad brawler by any means. I'm just not used to seeing it picked frequently here, but it makes a lot of sense. This is not only a long-range brawlers, it brings the spawners to the table, which Gene does not do well against at all. That fanning shot can't quickly take down those spawners, and also that pool. If it's got 3 extra little helpers standing in his way, can't make the big plays.
It's true. I'm an Eve hater, but you do bring up a good point. Daryl shows up here for Stamina, and Daryl is an interesting character when it comes down to knockout. Very polarizing. We've seen some teams great success when it comes down to Daryl. I like the pressure he provides. You just roll on him, but it does kind of put you in a position where you have a very pointed strategy, right? It kind of is about targeting one guy and pushing him down when Daryl has that super available. And so in that vein, the enemy knows what's coming.
Yeah, the enemy knows it's coming, and they don't necessarily have a direct response to this. I mean, great combination, don't get me wrong. Max, Gene, long-time synergy for Brawl Stars, but they have a real opportunity to go for a direct tank counter. They could pick somebody like B here who does really well, long range, goes into tanks. Maybe they're fearful of whatever they leave on the board here, like a Sprout or something like that could counter one of those long range brawlers. But no, I mean, Daryl might have a good opportunity here to get some kills. Gene, not a squishy brawler by any means, but there's not a ton of HP to go around on the other side. I don't think it's a free matchup, but I don't know. We saw what Bobby could do on the tank earlier. If he's playing this one again, I'm a little scared for Dogwalkers against that matchup.
Got to agree. I think at the end of the day, the draft, listen, it is very hard for me to ever really go against a Gene draft. The fundamentals are strong, get the pull and you kill the guy. However, across the way, and again, the Eve makes sense here. I like Stamina's draft more so than I like the Dogwalkers, and I'm a little surprised by that.
Well, it's going to be a loaded right-hand side. Patchy, Charles, Chino, all grouping together, and I think they might be going for an old-timey kind of strategy with Charles. I imagine they're going to be going for a different star power. Big pickup early, though. That's a huge mistake coming in for STMN, over-aggressing just a little bit, and you can see it there, too. They're gaining HP and health as they do that. Charles with the passive super going to help out and go really well with that magic buffs.
Works out well for Dogwalkers, and ultimately, Czar's going to look to charge up that super, land a couple of shots here. Of course, not over just yet. 2-on-3. Obviously, Dogwalkers have the upper hand, but Bobby has that super available. Here, Kenny, do you go for the win and use that super, or are you just kind of saving for next round?
I think they can make a hero play with Daryl specifically, but that's not the way to do it. Huge mistake there and a miscalculation on the bounce. Bobby, of course, can regenerate that a little bit easier since he's a tank Daryl, and it passively gets it for him. So that's one brawler I would say, yeah, it's probably okay if you really want to go for the hero play. But of course, Bell, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder. And of course, miscalculation there would ever happen. But Bobby already has it back. I mean, no sweat. They were definitely not favorites in that matchup anyways.
For sure. I do think Bobby would like to do anything but what happened. But that was last round. New round. New game. Let's go. Last time around, OG was the first one to fall. How does Eve protect herself a little bit better than last time?
Yeah, just can't step away from the team. Again, Eve doesn't have a ton of HP. Sure, she has the jump to get over a wall, but if you got all 3 brawlers from Dogwalkers, one of the influences, I think, for picking this Bell is that bounce shot. So if you hit one, you're probably getting some chip damage on the others too. So I kind of see the inspiration for that as well, but now the offense is coming in. It's going to be DW moving forward. Zar getting pieced up a little bit here. OG has to keep his distance. They go for sandbags too to keep him protected, which again, Bell can bounce off of. I think this Bell pick makes a lot of sense. They just can't get overwhelmed.
The gas coming in here. Daryl tries to roll in and deleted. Ineffective super. So it's OG and Zar versus the world. And the world.
Perfection here. And again, I got to give them a lot of credit. STMN have answers here. They didn't even go at a hard counter towards Bobby, who's playing the Daryl. They've got Zar with the bounce shot. They've got Eve, who counters the Gene with the spawners, but they have to get those supers in order to counter all 3 brawlers. Once again, on that right-hand side, this time Bobby and Zar trying to hit him with some aggression. Charles going to be low HP here. Somehow stays alive. They get out of that one pretty much unscathed.
Yeah, real awkward positioning coming out from Walkers here. Luckily, like you said, able to heal it up and kind of walk away, no pun intended. And here comes the left side push. Stamina staying largely central. And Dogwalker split up. Bobby sees the opportunity and goes on in, trades out. So it's 2-on-2. Chino half HP. And here come the damage out of the spawns. And OG winds up with the kill. And the 2-on-1 for Charles will go the way of Stamina. And a nice start here. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Yeah, I think some nice response there from OG especially. I mean, that's where the counterplay starts to kick in. And yeah, Charles is going to just run it in. I think a good call too. You don't want to feed OG. You don't want to feed Zar. Just keep those supers, admit defeat, concede, move on. I think a great decision there.
We'll start again here in round number 2. Super available for Bobby. And again, it's all about the moment of opportunity. If Bobby goes in at the wrong time, they fail. If Bobby goes in at the right time, they might not fail. Not guaranteed the dub, but that's what they're looking for. And I think so far, Bobby's gotten it right 1 out of 3 times. Or I should say, the team.
Yeah, it's certainly something to watch here. And Bobby, a huge wildcard factor here. Now the speed going through, to the pull going in as well. They claim Zar immediately. 3v2 situation, and now Bobby's going to have to play this to perfection if they want to climb their way out of this one.
I think it's easier to win the 2v2 with Bell up, but with, there it is, with the Daryl and Eve combo, you probably just go next. So that brings us to a 3rd round here. Dogwalkers on round, set, match, the whole tournament point. Stamina trying to claw their way back into it. Should we find a Stamina victory, we do it again. Dogwalkers don't want to do that. Eve super a little sleepy, but Dogwalkers clumped up on the left-hand side. OG low, but a beautiful protection there. And here comes Stamina. Bobby rolls in, but Dogwalkers waterfalling over him. 1 player alive. Kenny, Dogwalkers are a kill away.
Bobby somehow gonna have to be a superhero once again. He had the game of his life earlier, but this time, no